Welcome to the Women's Health Community Podcast. We're here to remove the pressure of the gym bro culture within the health and fitness community. So if you're a wannabe muscle mummy like me, a Pilates princess, in your running era, or simply a woman who values her health and fitness, this podcast is for you. Join us each week as we chat with inspiring and motivating individuals from all walks of life, sharing their personal journeys and practical tips for living a healthier and more fulfilling life. Welcome back to another episode of the Women's Health Community Podcast. I'm your host, Georgia. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, make sure you subscribe, turn notifications on, and rate the podcast 5 stars. I have a very exciting guest in here today. I am convinced that this is Jessica Alba's twin sister, whether she agrees with me or not, but I've had this belief since the day I first found her Instagram, and I'm so certain that it is true. So welcoming to the podcast, Donna. Thank you so much for joining me.
Jessica Alba's Wish version sister. Yeah.
Wish version. No, I was literally
Timu.
I was showing producer Alex literally before you walked in your photo of you in one of your really early comps and had your face up next to Jessica. I'm like, they're the same.
Yeah. I wish. Yeah, I wish.
Roll with it.
Roll with it. Yeah.
Well, at the start of every podcast, we have 4 rapid fire questions, and then the 4th one is different to every guest.
Okay.
I've shown you the other questions. I haven't shown you these ones. But it's okay. You've got this. What's one non-negotiable in your day every single day?
A cup of coffee in the morning.
Yep, same. What is your death row meal?
Oh, death row meal.
What's like your number one thing that if you could eat anything at anywhere in the world, like you've traveled a lot?
Oh, I love a lot of food. I don't know why the first thing that comes to mind is KFC.
Oh,
KFC.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, KFC. I just think of the crispy, oily chicken. Like, come to me. This is bullshit.
No,
this is the last meal I'm going to have that. I think of lots of food. Like, I like Biscoff and stuff like that. But
KFC's a good answer.
KFC?
I reckon that's a great answer.
Yeah. No one ever said that?
No.
No. Oh, okay. Well, I used to work at KFC when I was like 17. Maybe that's got
Maybe that's why, yeah. All right. What did you want to be when you were growing up?
It sounds funny. I didn't want to be anything in particular. I just wanted to be famous. I don't know why. I feel
like you've made it.
Nah, no way, mate. I'm just from Coburg North. I'm just no one. I'm no one. Yeah. I just wanted to be famous. But yeah.
Okay. We can make it happen for you. We'll make you famous from this podcast. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And then I've got a would you rather.
Okay.
Would you rather have never done any of your shows competing wise, or would you never have wanted to start posing coaching?
Oh, you can't do that.
I knew this would be a hard one. So never have competed or never teach?
Oh, I can't. I really can't. No one has ever asked me a question like that. No.
Next question.
Yeah, next question. I can't. You can't split. Can't. I really can't.
I've got another option.
All right,
I had a feeling you wouldn't be able to answer it.
Can't do it.
Would you rather never be Deadpan Donna again or never compete again?
Probably out of those two, never be Deadpan Donna again.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I know.
Rest in peace, Deadpan.
I know. Rest in peace, Deadpan. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, go look at Donna's Instagram and you'll get it straight away. I literally watched a few of those last night and I was hissing myself laughing in my bed and my husband's like, what are you watching? I'm like, this.
Yeah, I know people just, especially if you're like someone that's a new follower going, what the hell is this? Like, what is this grown woman doing, looking scruffy and, lame.
But it's so good. It just makes you, I feel like it just makes you such a more real person behind like the competitor.
That Deadpan Don was something that happened during COVID.
I think I remember this and you were like in your kitchen.
Yeah, I was just in my kitchen and it just happened during COVID. And
everyone went a little loopy.
Yeah. I did it as, you know what? Everyone had to work from home at the time. And I think this is when people were going through that period of, oh my God, we can't leave the house and people were feeling emotional and, kind of drained. And I thought, what can I do to make people kind of give them a little bit of, I don't know.
Entertainment,
make them smile, just something for a moment. And so I just thought, well, like I don't have to dress up for work. I'm in my like PJs or whatever. And I did this thing called Working From Home Challenge. Okay. And it was like hashtag WFH challenge. Just get out in your, get in your lame gear, pajamas, whatever it is, have a cup of coffee and then just dance daggy to your favorite song. Yeah. And I was trying to enlist the help of others and no one did it. Like it was embarrassing. No one did it. And but everyone loved me doing it and they were like laughing. And I thought, maybe I'll just keep doing this because I wanted to make people laugh. And it just kind of spawned from there.
Yeah, and I love that Deadpan's now in like your posing business and everything. Like I watched watched one of your reels and you had like one of your athletes come in and like Deadpan Don was teaching her to pose and it was so funny.
Yeah, I never thought of just introducing Deadpan Don that way. And because she doesn't speak, it feels funny talking in the third person here, but because she doesn't speak, it's challenging to try and make this character, I don't know, entertaining in a sense.
Maybe that could be a way to fame.
Oh, Deadpan Don.
Deadpan Don could be a way to fame. And then, I mean, we're resting her in peace, but like.
Yeah, I know. Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
All right. So for everyone who doesn't know who you are, doesn't know a little bit about what your business is, your competing history, just give everyone a little bit of a rundown of who Donna is, not Deadpan Don.
Yeah, not Deadpan Don. What, like as Alex said before, I like started in 1948, he reckons. Yeah.
When I was a young girl. We were joking before we started recording that Donna was like doing cassette players and all these
doing
things.
Cassette players with a, cup, what was it? What do you say? Like a cup with a string.
As a phone.
Yeah, that's me back then.
Yeah.
So my competing journey began in 2003. How old are you, Georgia?
I was in grade 1.
Fuck. Grade 1. My goodness.
How old were you at the time?
Oh, embarrassing. I want to say 27, 28.
And how old are you now?
49. I'm going to turn.
Own it. I want you to say it because if I look like you at 49, let me tell you, I will be celebrating.
I'm going to be 50. I'll be 50.
You are probably the hottest 50-year-old I've ever met.
50 in May. 50
Are you like going all out celebrating?
Yeah, I am doing something. It was either crawl in a hole, be like an ostrich head in the sand, or do the opposite.
The complete opposite.
Complete opposite. So I'm doing something.
I'm so excited for that. So
yes, I'm going to go back into I started competing in 2003, although I had started being involved in the bodybuilding industry, working from like a backstage perspective just to see what shows were like. Did my first show and then just stayed within the fitness industry after that. And I've competed across 5 federations in 3 different divisions. So people probably don't know I've done figure, bikini, and I've done fitness. So I've done 5 different federations. And I guess posing coaching, unofficially, I probably did it the year after I started competing. I was helping people that were at my gym. There was no sort of, I think at the time there might have been 1 or 2 posing coaches, but they weren't, it's not like it is today where it is a fully fledged business. It was just something that, you know, if you're a PT, you helped your client pose, or it was something that maybe you're a posing coach, but that was just kind of like your hobby. And that's what I did. That's how I started doing it back then. And then I never really looked at it as something, you know, as a viable, hey, I can actually live my passion doing this until maybe, what are we now, 2025, I think probably like 11 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, is when I started to dabble in, hey, you know, maybe I could do this as a side hustle sort of thing. And it just grew from there.
Yeah.
So absolutely love what I do. I've been able to do this as a full-time gig now for ever since I got made redundant during COVID.
I remember this. So just before COVID, I think I first ever started following, and you were still working with one of the like phone company or something like that.
I was working, I was my corporate job at Optus. So I'd been there for, my goodness, I think it was 21 years and I got made redundant during COVID.
Wow.
And I was hustling 2 jobs. So I was doing Optus as well as posing coaching 7 days a week. Yep.
Insane.
Yeah, 7 days a week. And then it got to the point where I was doing posing coaching on the weekend and I had said to my corporate job, can I go part-time for 4 days? It was the first time in like whatever it was, 18 years at the time, where I said, can I drop down to 4 days? And I did. So then I did 3 days of posing coaching. And then towards the end of my corporate job, I asked if I could go down to 3 days and then do 4 days of posing coaching. And then during COVID is when I got made redundant. Like I got literally, you know, the tap of the shoulder, but I was at home and I got the phone call saying, you know.
Were you devastated or were you kind of a bit more like a relief, grateful? I think COVID forced a lot of people to start something. Like that's when my business started in 2020.
Yeah.
Like I had very little experience on a gym floor. I did have a year under me, but in the grand schemes, a year isn't that much. But it was like you're forced to either sink or swim.
Did you have a job before?
Yeah, I was working at a group fitness gym.
Yeah.
For, I want to say it wasn't a full year. It was maybe like 10 months. And then COVID happened and we were the first to shut.
Yeah.
And I was kind of sat around for the first lockdown, which was like maybe 4 weeks. I'm like, okay, like I'll go back to work soon. It's just going to take like a break. And then it was like, no, like we're in lockdown for 2 fucking years.
Yeah.
Like,
So
I had to make it work. So were you a bit more nervous, upset? I mean, you would have been upset if you were there for such a long period of time, but.
Yeah, you've got to think, 21 years is, almost half my life being there, and you get to, have this well-worn routine. You've got friends that you've been there. You're so used to it. You know what you're doing every day. And then to go into this unknown, what am I going to do now? And it was always this thing in my head that was, be careful what you wish for, because this is what I had wanted. I wanted to do posing coaching full time. It was just leaving the safety of your job. How do I do this? And now I'm my employer. I now have to do,
it all falls back on you.
Yeah, everything falls back on me. So I looked at it as it was a silver lining in the end. I just thought, this is exactly what I wanted to do. It's like the universe said, hey, this is your passion. You've like chipped away at doing this as a side hustle. And now you've had the opportunity to be able to carve this out if you want to. Here it is. Yeah. You want it? Here you go. And then I just ran with it. Yeah. And like I every single day that I get up, one thing, so you asked me in the beginning, like, what is one non-negotiable I have every day? The second one is that I open the balcony doors. Even if I'm in my jocks, some of the neighbours could probably see me. I don't care. I'm in my top.
They probably love it.
And I sit there and I actually, for about 5 or 10 minutes of the day, I'll actually sit there and talk about what I'm grateful for, what I'm thankful for, anything it is. I say that to, every day. And I'm like, I get to wear active wear to the gym. If I want to wear to my studio, thongs. If I want to wear thongs, like people know that I'm normally in thongs.
She's in closed-toe shoes
today. Yes, that's right. So I get like, how do I get to do this as a job?
Yeah, I think I definitely am the same, because I've always been, I like grew up in a household where my dad would go to work. He would work hard. He would sacrifice family time. Whereas I'm at home.
Yeah.
If I want to take a break, I'll lay on the bed with my dog and cuddle her for a little bit and go back to work. Like, how is that my job? How is that my business? It's so crazy. Do you ever sometimes miss the corporate world, or are you like fully out of it now?
No, don't miss it one bit.
Really?
I do miss the people because the people I worked with, there are some that I still, to this day, we still catch up and go for dinner. But it's I would never go back to it. Nothing wrong with the corporate job. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah. You've experienced the activewear life 24/7.
Yeah.
You can't go back.
Just to be able to, and I'm very grateful that I work not far from where I live, just to be able to, and to be with like-minded others. This is what I, like meeting you and meeting Alex and all the other people that we know. Like, I'm just grateful to be in this community. Yeah.
So do you find, like, especially going from the corporate world into self-employed at a later age, do you feel like there was a lot of like pushback from others, or do you feel like there was full support the whole way?
To be honest, most of it was full support the whole way. People were saying, this is your dream, this is your goal.
People knew that it was coming.
Yeah. You've got to think that I'd been doing this as a side hustle for, the better part of 10 or 11 years. It just grew and grew. Yeah. So people knew that this was my thing, but it was, how do I make this my full time? So it wasn't, we're so used to, especially like say with your parents, like you said, it's a different work landscape now, I believe, where it's not just corporate. You're how old are you?
28.
Yeah, young. Weeks. Yeah, you're doing your own thing now. Whereas that wasn't something that I would be looking at your age back then. It was just, going to the traditional workplace, and like I said, nothing wrong with that. It's just not for me, and not older. I don't want that to feel like they're being older. It gets a little bit more I don't know, for lack of a better word, scarier. I don't want it to think that. I'm just like, I'm living my passion. I love it. And if I love what I do, I feel like I'm just going to flourish even more. That's how I see it.
And I think as well, if you're someone like my parents were very much in that traditional timeline.
Yeah.
Marriage, kids, family,
Yeah.
business.
Absolutely.
Whereas my trajectory was business, marriage, travel.
Yeah.
Travel.
Yeah.
Maybe kids.
Yeah.
House down the line.
Yeah.
Like it's completely different.
I agree.
Do you notice like you've seen that shift a lot more as well?
Yeah, with the people that and it's funny that a lot of the people that I connect with, you're all so much younger than me. Like I don't know anyone that's about my age.
Do you know when I think it was your birthday in 2024 when you had just turned 49.
Yeah.
Amy was telling me that she was going to your birthday. I'm like, oh, how old is she turning? Like, I honestly thought it was like 35.
I love you. You're on my Christmas list this year.
Thank you. No, but genuinely. And then when I saw this post that you put up.
Yeah.
And you were in the sequence dress, like recently.
Oh, yes, the silver one. Yeah.
Zoomed in on that
you're
thing.
hilarious.
And I was like, hot. So fucking hot.
I felt like I looked like aluminium foil that night. My girlfriend.
You looked gorgeous. I'm going to like put this as a reel on Instagram and I'm going to put the photo in on it because you looked gorgeous. But I'm just like, I forgot what I was asking you, but you're hot.
Yeah. I just think, I don't know many people that are similar in my age. All of you are in fact younger, and I love it. I feel like that keeps me young and on my toes.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of friends similar age or not really?
No, I can't think of anyone who's 49 or 50. I can't. Everyone's on average. I think all of my friends are around more than 10 years younger than me.
And do you feel like you feel a big age gap or you don't really?
Nah, because I'm immature. Not saying you're not. Like I feel like I've like
there's a balance.
I feel like I should be more not motherly, but I just feel like I should be more demure. I don't know, mature. And I'm not.
No.
I can't help it.
I feel like it's fun though.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's a really, I'm personally really inspired by it because like I think that I would be a very immature, fun person as well.
Yeah.
Like that's my personality. Like, okay, this podcast I have to be a little bit somewhat
Yeah.
professional.
Yeah.
But like in my personal life, like I'm a fun person and I'm like, I want to carry that my whole life. So
don't change.
It's really like, I love it.
Look what my hair is today. Like this is something
buns.
that like a kid would do, or maybe someone so much younger than me, but I don't care. Do it. Why not? Yeah.
I love that.
It's not exactly perfect today.
They're pretty good.
Looking in the mirror going, Georgia's going to see one's off balance. I'm like, oh, stuff it.
I didn't really look that hard, honestly. Okay, so going on to the next question. One of my favorite things about you is your age, your femininity, and then also your confidence, even though you think you don't have a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
But I've seen you on stage quite a few times now. I saw you when you turned pro. I saw you in your you did your pro debut as well just recently?
No, I have not done my pro debut. That would be the next one.
I've seen you in 2 shows. So maybe it was
Sydney.
You did, and then Gold Coast.
Yeah, you were there. You took footage. You tagged me. I remember.
I loved it. So they're definitely some of my favorite things about you. So I just want to know, like, breaking the stereotype of your age. I keep going back to your age. I'm not trying to make you feel
this
old,
is good. No.
It's really interesting to me around your age and then fitness and then that your age potentially, quote unquote, shouldn't be competing and all of these things. Do you feel like you face a lot of projections in that, or do you feel like you're being pushed into this stereotype because of that age, or do you feel like you don't really experience that?
Look, I would say I think a lot of people think that once, our sport is quite maybe, I won't say a young sport, but I think people feel like your years are behind you when you get to say my age, and that you can't be in a competitive space anymore. And I want to show people that no, you can challenge that narrative. You can challenge that notion. Like I'm living proof that I was 47 and I got my pro card, and I got it in the over 35 age groups. I was already 12 years older and there were 35 women in that lineup. 35.
Oh my God.
Yep, not split at all. It was 35 in that lineup.
That's crazy. And you were the oldest in that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I was the oldest in that, but I think at the time I had been told that I I don't know if it is true now, but I'm the oldest FMG pro in Australia when I got my pro card.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's huge. I'm proud of that. I'm absolutely proud of that.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So more than anything, I feel like because I surround myself with really positive and inspiring people, no one has ever said to me, you can't do that, or you should hang up the boots now, or hang up the heels now, I should say. But I remember distinctly when in 2016, when I had competed with ICN, I did really well at this particular show. I'd won and placed in a lot of my divisions. And someone who was close to me at the time had actually said, you should have started competing earlier because by now you would have got your pro card. And that stuck with me for years and years and years. I kept thinking to myself, yeah, maybe I should have started earlier. Does that mean that I'm never going to get my pro card?
Like, you started in 2003 though.
Yeah,
so I started still like a good over 10 years into your competing.
Yeah, I think they had meant like I should have started at 21, but why? Well, it was the timing. This is how it was meant to happen. I'm never going to regret that. And that stuck with me for so many years. And then when I did get my pro card, my mind went back to that conversation thinking, I hope you're watching.
Yeah. I hope you're enjoying the show because I just proved you wrong.
Yeah, I just proved you wrong. Yeah.
I think, I feel like there's a lot of girls that rush to stage.
Yep.
I mean, I always have this really big internal battle because I feel like I don't have the goal of being a pro, and I'm very open about that.
Yeah.
And I don't have the goal of being a bikini competitor. I'm strictly transformation. One more show and I'm done.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I feel like as well, I see so many girls willing to rush to stage because of the time running out.
Yeah.
And I think as well, like I've had conversations with other girls who are turning 30 this year and they're like, oh, like I don't think I'm going to be able to compete for much longer. And then I think
really? They've said this?
Yeah. Like even seeing the over 35 category and all these things, I'm like, it's so inspiring that like if come the time I ever do one day decide to do it again, like the option is there, and it's not going to be a matter of I'm too old or I'm unable. It's a matter of like more so the question for me would be, is my body ready?
Yeah.
Is my body able?
Yeah. I don't know why people are putting a timeline on their goals and saying that once I hit 30, like it's all downhill from there, is it? Like I've got to focus on other priorities. Like why isn't fitness, why can't you achieve this later in life? There's no reason why you can't. Stop putting this limitation that I've got to do it now to be competitive.
And I think there's quite a few federations now that do have, like the ICN have the mum category.
Yep.
FMG have over 35.
And 45.
Oh, and 45.
Yeah. They have
new?
That's new. I think they introduced that, I want to say last year, last year.
Like FMG show.
Yeah, they would, that they now have and it's a pro category as well. You can get your pro card in that.
Okay.
So
do you compete in both? Can you compete in both?
Yeah, I did. So like when I did my my last appearance on stage, so that was just over 2 years ago, I did the open. So I did the open bikini, and they had that divided into different height classes. And I did the over 35. They didn't have an over 45. Okay. So this time when I make my pro debut, I will definitely go in the over 35. I will go in the over 45, and something that I will definitely do because I want to inspire and show people that it can be done is I will go in the open. You've got it on here that I will definitely open pro, because I want to show people that I can stand next to, if I can stand next to Tani, if she's watching this, if I can stand next to Tani and say, you know what, I stood next to the best in the world. I stood next to some of the best in the world, and I can look competitive and I can look respectable. Absolutely. Because I know that there's going to be someone out in that crowd or watching that show thinking, just thinking, I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to give it a red hot crack like she has.
I love that. And I somehow hope we can get the judges to see this, or the people that move you around, and just have you next to each other.
Yeah.
Because what a moment for you even, for people watching that. I'm like picturing it in my head. Like, you are an incredible poser. Obviously, you're a fucking posing teacher. But like, Tani is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm actually hint. getting her on this podcast.
Oh, bloody oath, you better. Yeah.
We've already locked that all in. So I am so excited. So I'm definitely going to make sure she sees this and she's going to know. But like how incredible for you to, like you said, have that opportunity to inspire women of any age, whether they're starting, whether they're over 30, whether they're approaching their 50s, whether they've got kids, whether they don't have kids, whatever it is, you get to do that. And that is pretty much a title and an opportunity that really only falls to you. There's not many other people that can have that ability to do that.
And I want there to be. I want there. We're an aging population, you know, and we're in this. And, you know, compared to 20, 30 years ago, there probably weren't many women, you know, that were 45, 50 that focused, you know, their health and with fitness and bodybuilding, or they probably didn't have that type of focus. But now we're surrounded by it, you know, with social media, we see it, it's everywhere. So yeah, I had actually said to my coach, I will do the over 45, obviously. I will do the over 35. And you know, it's funny because I have seen athletes who do the over 35 and over 45 categories, but they won't do the open.
Yeah, I've noticed this.
And is it because they feel like, well, I'm not going to place, I'm not going to do well? What's the bigger meaning? What's the bigger, there's got to be a bigger thing behind it.
It kind of also comes back to that thing about when new girls come into the sport, you ask them, what's your why? Why do you want to compete?
Yeah.
Okay, you've achieved one of the best things that you can achieve turning pro.
Yeah.
What's your why now within turning pro? And I think some people, even at that level, like you've said, like they're just so caught up in winning.
Yeah. I don't want it to be about that. Like, it's got to be a bigger meaning behind that. So if I can stand next to, like I said, like I said to my coach, if I can stand next to Tani, if I can stand next to some of the best in the world and look competitive and look, you know, respectable, you know, because I know I'm not going to lie, like I'm older. This is a sport about a look and an aesthetic. But if I can stand there and say, hey, I held my own, then that means
job well done.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then take your crown out in the over 30. Can you get a double crown on the same day? So could you get the crown for over 35s and over 45?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. I am not sure.
Well, how sick? Okay, we need to clarify this because how sick would that be to be the oldest competitor in FMG?
Potentially,
potentially, we're not 100% sure on that. The over 35 crown holder.
I imagine
that. The over 45 crown holder. You could wear your space buns and have a crown on each, hanging off each space bun and just walk around like with two crowns on.
It.
That would be insane.
I know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm trying to think if someone's done it, if they've done it in both. Like I've watched the shows, but
yeah, I feel like there's not really any other category that has as many. Like wellness doesn't have as many. Like
age categories. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I think bikini is really the only one.
Yeah, the only one. It's the most popular. So
and I'm trying to think even to the men. Like I've been to quite a lot of FMG shows. Like I think there's some men that have double titles.
I'm not sure. It's like, I've got to double check.
Like just making this up, like convincing myself in my mind that it's true. But that would be a really interesting fact to find out. If it's fun. Yeah, look, and I'll just say off the bat as well, even in the last 5 years across all federations, my point is that I'm trying to keep up with all the changes, you know, in terms of like posing requirements and all the rules that are involved. You pose men and women.
I pose men and women.
So you have to learn every federation.
Every federation. And I'm honest, like I reckon in even probably less than 5 years, the amount of information that I have to keep up with, I'm struggling. Yeah. Like more than 5 years ago, walk in the park.
Yeah. What's your favorite federation to teach posing to?
Can't say. There's not one federation. I love teaching them all. I love teaching the guys. I find it a lot more, you know, challenging, especially because I had this conversation with someone the other day about anatomically, I don't move like a bloke, you know? And so I put up a reel the other day of me doing men's physique posing, which I have not done in a long time. If you scroll back, I probably haven't done it in about 3 years. And I thought, stuff it. Now that I've got a bit more of an audience, I'm going to put it up there. And I had a top men's physique posing coach in America comment on, and he actually shared my reel. I could not believe it. It's like, my goodness, yeah, I couldn't believe
And
it.
he was like in praise of it.
Oh yeah, like, and then from that, I had some male people follow me.
So
And
good.
yeah, and then there's a transition that that men do in men's physique called the Ventura. It's
Okay.
called the Ventura, Ventura pose, Ventura transition. And the guy that invented it messaged me and he was like, "Hey, nice Ventura step," and I'm like, "What?
What?
Really? Me? Little
That's
old
so
me
good.
from
I
bloody."
think I saw this reel and someone even commented on being like, nice warrior pose. Is this the one?
Yes,
I don't know what the warrior pose is.
yes, it
but
was.
like,
No, that was so there were the two really well known in America posing coaches and competitors actually commented. Oh, I
crazy.
could not believe it. I was like,
I've
what?
made it.
What's
I'm
happening?
famous.
Yeah, I know. I've made it.
That's crazy. So you don't have a favorite federation? Like it wouldn't be FMG, like because it's a bit more personality driven. It's a IFBB because it's a bit more structural. Like you don't really have a favorite?
No, like I love them all for those reasons.
Okay, so they've all got their
yeah, like
uniqueness.
FMG, that opportunity to add flair, and I guess that's what led me to compete because I had done all those other federations. I competed with ICN, ANB, IFBB. And decided I'd do, FMG. I love IFBB because it's very structured and it's very, poised. Yeah. And I love the others as well because they're a lot of fun. Love them all, and I love going to all the shows.
Yeah, you travel a lot.
Yeah. I'm the traveling posing coach.
So you went to Dubai?
I went to Dubai. Have you been to Dubai?
No.
Not interested?
Interested?
Oh.
Haven't been.
I'd go back. I always thought I'd like it, and it confirmed it for me when I went there.
Would you compete
Oh, yes, I would. Yeah.
Because don't FMG now do the Dubai like expo thing?
They're everywhere. We're everywhere. We're everywhere
Insane.
now. Yeah, that
there's
Dubai.
so many shows
Yeah.
like Italy,
Yes.
America, Mexico.
Yeah. They'll be in New
Thailand.
Zealand this year, Thailand.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have
huge.
you picked are you competing this year? Plan to?
We will see. We will see. Watch this space, people.
Oh,
I
we're
am
not
definitely
announcing.
yeah.
But watch this space.
Yeah,
wink,
watch
wink.
this space. Yeah, I would definitely compete again.
Yeah.
100% I'll compete again.
You need to get those 2 crowns.
Yeah.
Get up next to Tani.
Yeah.
It has to happen.
Yeah. And I want to, like I said, my why has, changed. Like it's more, I would love to do really well, but I also want to inspire people. I want to inspire people, like you said, from all walks of life, not just people who are similar age to me.
Yeah. I've spoken to I had Caitlin McGuinness on the podcast as well, and we're talking about one of my favorite things about FMG is that they announce people's job titles.
Yeah.
And the fact that there is such a diverse range of different job titles in one show specifically is just proof that anyone from all walks of life can learn to pose, can get on stage, can look phenomenal, can win their pro cards. It's not just people in the health and fitness space that are doing these things. And I think that's a really cool realization and federation to be a part of.
It's everyday people that are doing this. Doesn't matter what profession, you're right. Like they say, I'm like, oh, that person's a police officer, that person's a nurse, that person's
lawyers.
Yeah. It's funny when just touching on that, when I did the Sydney show, which was in 2022, I hadn't competed for 5 years. And I knew that they were going to say, Donna Atkins, posing coach. And I actually did not, I just was feeling that the minute that they were saying that, everyone in the audience are going to expect me. Yeah, but they're going to expect me to float like Jesus on water.
Well,
you
did.
Well, no, it was pretty nerve. I was really nervous at that show.
I think
very nervous.
But you still looked phenomenal.
Yeah, but when I knew that they were going to announce that, then everyone in the audience were like, "Oh, wow, we want to see
the posing."
Yeah, exactly. It puts a lot of pressure on you. Oh well, I've put a lot of pressure on myself to make sure that I looked okay.
Well, I mean, ultimately, it is a representation of your business.
Yeah.
So it is somewhat a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
But I also think there would have been a lot of self-appointed pressure in that.
Yeah, there is. There was a lot of pressure, but it was, to have them say it, I was like, oh, here we go. You better not stuff it up. Better not stuff it up, Donna.
Do you plan your posing or do you just like YOLO it and wing it?
Never. No, practice what I preach.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah. If I show you all the videos that I've done, I do dress rehearsals with my jewelry. I even did a dress rehearsal in my dress.
So you probably do more practice than anyone else.
I did.
Do you know what really bugs me? And I don't know if this is
Tell me.
Gonna annoy some people. FMG do the ball gown dress round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some of these women,
Yeah.
sorry ladies, need to practice walking in their dresses because I don't want to see your underwear.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, you've gone like, hello?
No, they're wearing a split dress.
Oh, you can see, yeah.
Because they don't want to trip. They hold up the front of their dress.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Bessie, like.
Yeah, come on. We don't want to put on another show here. This is, yeah.
Like, and it's quite frequent that it happens. And I'm like, so it's interesting that like you practice. Do you reckon a lot of people do and people forget that whole element?
No, I don't think people practice in their dress at all. I should put up footage. I might put up some footage of me practicing my dress. Up and down, up and down. Absolutely, because of that very reason. Am I going to trip? I use the exact high heels that I was wearing as well, not ones that I was going to change on the day because I don't want to fall over. I don't want to, is anything going to pop out like you said? Absolutely. And the particular pose that I was going to do, it wasn't just wing it. It was, no, I'm going to stand in this position. I'm going to turn this way. This is how I'm going to do it. And I did it for both.
Yeah, I think people definitely need to take some notes on that one.
Yeah. I don't believe that people practice in their dress. They'll practice in their bikini, a lot of do.
Yeah. But I think as well, people get their dress really late. Like they'll hire it and then get it like a couple of days before. So I'm like, yeah, okay, that's a harder thing, but still put it on, still walk in it.
Do it in your hotel room. Do something. Yeah.
Just make sure you can't see.
Make sure you can't see. Yeah, you can't see what you had for brekkie.
Oh, there's that donut that you just ate because you're out of your bikini now. We can see it. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
So kind of taking a little bit of a pivot.
Yeah.
Recently you made I don't know if you did it as a post or a story about women celebrating their bodies and doing photo shoots, not just when they're 2-3 a day post show, all of this sort of stuff.
Yep.
And celebrating their body at all phases, not just at the stage lean. So obviously your posing coaching empowers women to feel their best in a position, in a bikini, all of that sort of stuff. But how do you encourage women to embrace their unique bodies and to celebrate themselves at all phases outside of just aesthetics?
Doing exactly what I did and do a photo shoot and have that immortalized so that you can remind yourself that this is what strong looks like, this is what healthy looks like. Because that photo shoot, which we did here incidentally, wasn't the first time that I'd done a photo shoot like that. I'd done one a few years ago. And, I want people to not only celebrate, like I've done photo shoots, a day after my show, a week after my show. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I will do the same thing again. Nothing wrong with that. It's when it's the other, like I said in the reel, the other 40 odd weeks of a year, why aren't we celebrating now? Like I may not look like I'm comp lean, but I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm nourished, I'm strong. It might not look it might look different, but I know that when I am 85 years old at Shady Pines Retirement Home, I'm going to go, even that little bit of skin fold, a little bit bigger than normal. I was still bloody shit hot back then.
Yeah.
Still bloody shit hot.
Yeah.
And so I want people to, that's one way you can celebrate it. I think just by looking in the mirror every day and we beat ourselves up. I still do it. I don't think that just because I've done that I don't have days where I look in the mirror going, look at my cellulite and look at my body. But I try and rise above that and say, hey, Donna, like you're more than just your vessel. You're more than just what you look like. So I want people to embrace more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't actually done that many photo shoots in my time. I did one with my clients, I want to say 4 weeks out from when I first ever competed. And then I did one randomly in 2023.
Yeah.
I was very different sizes in both. I was pretty much nearly stage ready.
Yeah.
And then I was probably in the one in 2023 like 10 kilos heavier than I am now.
Yeah.
But the difference in who I was on the day, how I engaged with my clients, like you've said, you were happier, you were healthier. I could talk more.
Yeah.
I could be present more. But I also think that there was a lot more shares on the one when I was heavier, people having like questioning it or things like that. So I think it also then comes down to, like you said, recognizing that you're so much more than just your vessel and being able to
Absolutely.
acknowledge that, recognize that, and celebrate that, and then also celebrate your body for what it can do.
That's right. Not just what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like you said, so many people get caught up in just the stage lean.
You know, something that you'll find, and I was doing this when I first started competing, is that and maybe this would help a lot of first time competitors. Like we said, you need to look beyond what your vessel is. But I would look in the mirror and not look at my body. I'd look at it as in body parts. I'd look at my glutes. I look at my tricep. I'd look at my shoulder. We all do it. We look in the mirror and we start looking at ourselves as body parts rather than a whole. Hey, Donna, this carries you. This body carries you. Carried me into my car to get here to do this podcast today.
Took you to around the world.
Yeah.
Took you wherever you
That's
need to
exactly
go.
right.
Yeah.
It takes me around the world. It takes me to my favorite coffee shop. It allows me to go to travel and move to go to my job that I love to do every day. Why aren't people looking at it from this perspective? You are more blessed than you think. You know, there are people that would give to be able to exercise, not just do a show. So you needs to come back to this type of thing. And I remind myself every day, you know, that I am capable. I am so much more than just my physique. It's great. Like being a competitor and doing shows is amazing. And, you know, I'm part of that. But then I know after that my body is going to go back to this new like normal reality. This is a body that you're going to live with. The comp physique, you're kidding yourself if you think after your show, those abs are going. It's okay. Those abs are going. You're going to replace that with much needed social time, much hanging around with friends, visiting that restaurant that you've been wanting to visit for ages. These are more important. These are, you know, important things that you have to do.
And then kind of like, this is a complete tangent. Do you feel like as someone who is very much in the world of a lot of new competitors, you see them really struggle post-show, trying to diet again maybe 8 weeks after show because they've lost their abs or they're not looking as lean as what they were, and try and like limit themselves again and essentially go back into a deficit 8 weeks after dieting for 20, however many weeks people prep for?
Yeah, you know, I see a lot of people struggle, a lot of first timers struggle after a show because they've never looked like this before, you know, and you see that they've got this extra confidence, so to speak. But you know, you've got to think that doing a show, it's a purpose. You're committing to, you know, whatever it is, 6 months, 12 months for this goal, and then after that, it's important to know that you're going to come out of it, and there should be other goals that are not physique looking based or aesthetic based. Yeah, but you're right. There a lot of people do struggle after their show. Yeah. And I'm like, I should say that my door's always open, and I do speak to competitors who have struggled and just say, look, I'm here. Just know that you got to be kind to yourself. You're more than your physique. I try and, you know, push that into them because it's a message that I want people to know.
Yeah. Yeah, it does make me so sad, but then I'm also very confident that if you do compete and if you plan on competing multiple times, it's something kind of inevitably and sadly that everyone will go through and everyone will struggle. Do you feel like did you ever have that like in 2003 in your first show that you did struggle, and then the more you've competed, the more knowledge and confidence and education that you've gained to be able to navigate those post-comp phases and be able to get through it without the need or the want to like tear your body apart?
Yeah. It is. And it does come with time. And I would say it's hard for me to think back to 2003, but definitely back then.
Or even like 2016
yeah,
or when that
absolutely.
Girl made
I
that
can
shitty comment.
even say maybe 2017 when I competed, I reckon I did 3 shows back to back in that year. And I think after that, I went through a period of 6 months where I just ate anything and everything, and I never gave any regard to how you know, managing it better. And then I think after that, when I competed, I just got to the point where you're right. Like I started to, I guess, know that it's okay that, because a lot of people do binge. A lot of people just,
Well, I definitely fell into it the first time. I prepped but didn't make it to stage. So I prepped throughout 20.
It was COVID.
COVID year. So I was dieting all through COVID, set up a home gym. And it was when ICN cancelled their show maybe like 3 weeks before. So I like prepped all the way up, being like convinced myself that I was going to make it to stage. And then the day that they cancelled the show, I literally packed up my car and I moved to Sydney. And that was when I started living in Sydney. Because I was like, so I think the consistency of being in lockdown for so long, then having the disappointment of the show being cancelled, then moving states, then coming out of lockdown because Sydney wasn't in lockdown, it was just a recipe for disaster. Like, so I was definitely binging that first time. And then the second time I competed, my only goal post-show, don't binge. That was my only goal. Successfully did that. Then the second time in 2024 when I competed, my goals were to not binge and then to not regain all the weight, which was what I did. So it's like every time I've done it, I've progressively improved. So now in 2025, when I compete again, my goals will be to not binge, to not regain all the weight, and to maintain under a certain body weight purely for my health. Or like not health, because I'm actually quite healthy now on paperwork, on blood work, training, everything. I'm quite healthy, but more, I don't want to say aesthetics, but just where I'm confident. Just maintain a weight that I'm healthier and confident at and like to be
It's just, it is time. It is time. And then going through the process repeatedly to say, well, I don't want to be in that position again. I don't want to binge and I don't like how I looked. I don't like how I felt. And then, you know, managing it better and also having the right support, making sure that your coach is there to help you navigate through it because you are going to put on weight, but also don't beat yourself up if things don't go to plan. Go to exactly, you're a human, you're not a robot, you're not a computer. So you allow, and that's why over the years, I know that when I compete again, I know that I'm going to love the way that I look, but I know, Donna, in 4 weeks' time, you're going to be back to a different type of normal, which is going to be your reality for most of the time. And I've just learned to love it.
It's like you said, it's a lesson that people learn over time. And I think if you are someone that is planning on competing multiple times, like each show, just do one thing better. Whoa, that is not a word. Each post comp, that's a tongue twister. Do one thing better.
Don't put this pressure that you've got to have all these things in place. Like like you said, you get smarter. You're now armed with more knowledge. Each time you do a show, you just learn. And so it's great that you've got all these sort of parameters in place for after your show. And I feel like people just need to do the same. So if you're a first time competitor, you know, be kind to yourself, be gentle. It's hard to begin with, but over time you'll go, well, I know what happened in my last show or my second show. I'm going to do things differently now.
And I think as well, also, it's a really big empowering moment to regain a lot of this control people feel they lose. To also remember everyone's starting point of a prep is so different. And if you go back to your starting point of a prep, that is not a job poorly done. That is job done. Like
it's a great way to say it.
Like last time, so 2024 I competed, I was 10 kilos heavier than I am now. Even if I got to that 10 kilos heavier, obviously I wouldn't feel amazing, but that's not a job poorly done. I'm not meant to maintain my prep my whole year. And I think for me as someone who is a bigger off-season competitor, whatever, like some people have their opinions, that's fine, that's their thing. But it's like, it also allowed me to regain a lot of my own confidence to realize that if I've gained 15 kilos from my stage physique to now, that is not a job poorly done.
No.
Like I'm not meant to be that.
No,
So it's a really like empowering way to think about it, I think, to be like, that is okay. And I think there's this really big negative connotation attached to regaining all your weight in your prep. A prep isn't a dieting phase.
That's exactly right.
If you want to maintain the weight loss that you've lost, do a dieting phase. Do it sustainably, do it healthily, do it over a longer period of time, and don't have it purely for the goal of getting on stage. It's completely different.
Two different things. And
I think a lot of people also then compare to Tani, yourself. I know Mercedes as well has maintained an amazing, Zara, Erin, these pros who their business, their brand, their livelihood is attached to this time in their life. It is a part of your expectation as a pro to maintain a pro status and represent a federation. I think people, especially amateurs, first-time competitors, severely lack the knowledge of that one piece of information, and that then takes away so much power from themselves in that post-comp phase and ultimately ruins a lot more than it needs to.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. Like you said, what you said, everyone is starting at a different point when they compete, and when they come out of it, everyone's going to look different, and you just can't compare yourself to,
anyone.
Yeah, your start of your journey to someone else's start of their journey. So yeah.
So bit of a different pivot again.
Yeah.
What is one of the biggest lessons? I mean, we're still in the competing questions.
Yeah.
But what is one of the biggest lessons that you feel like you've learnt about yourself since competing? I mean, or we could even more so go like, if you want to break it down to like since being with FMG, or if you want to do your whole entire competing.
What is one of the biggest lessons I've learned with competing
about yourself?
About myself.
It's a bit of a big question.
I think, my goodness, yeah, it's a big question.
It's a loaded question.
Yeah. Self-discipline.
Yeah.
Being able to say to myself that no matter how hard it gets, that I can still show up every day. Patience. It's taught me patience, that these things are something that take time. They take years to be able to see a result. So like if I look at myself from one show to another, how amazing it is that I've been able to work to a point to make myself look completely different. Yeah, it's taught me that, especially now that I'm older, it's taught me that I can still be competitive, that even though that I want it to be more than blah, I'm going to stuff this up. Yeah, I just feel like it's taught me, like I said, hard work, that I can do hard things, that even as I get older, I can still be competitive, that I'm never going to let the fact that I'm older stop me from being, like being able to say that I can't work as hard as someone that's younger, being able to get up on stage and look amazing. So there's so many things. I feel like that's a big loaded question. But yeah, so many things, but that's some of it, yeah.
I feel like a really cool way to summarize it would be like that you're not just confined to a box.
Yeah.
That you're able to do so many things. And you can do whatever you want regardless of your age. Your age isn't a limiting factor.
Age should not be a limiting factor. It should not stop you. And not even just age. It should be just whatever circumstances that you have in your life, that you might have, I feel like saying that you're someone that works full time and you've got 3 children. I know so many people in these situations and they compete. I know someone that has 5 children who competed.
Your posing coach that works under you, she's got children?
Yeah, my assistant posing coach, Ty, she has 1 child, and she also has another job that she does as well. So and she's competed. So, it's absolutely possible. Don't ever let your circumstance, your situation in life ever stop you from competing, because I guarantee you there is someone in your situation that has. Yeah.
Or there's someone watching you that is so inspired by you and invested in your journey to do that.
And share it, because there is someone out there thinking, well, if she can do it, why can't I? I'm no special than anyone else. Like, just because I'm 49, why isn't another 49-year-old out there thinking, I want them to think that they can do this too, and not go, oh, she's been doing this for a long time. It's too late for me to start. No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah. That's like my mum, actually. I've not forced her, but over I've been training now for 10 years, coaching for 5. She's now starting to want me to write her meal plans and get her into the gym and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, she's turning 60 this year.
It's amazing.
And I'm like, yeah, if you're ready to do it, I will help you do it. And I think it's a really cool thing to be like, even if you're just starting and you don't have the 20 odd years behind you, does not matter. Like, you're never too old to care about your health.
100%.
People maybe write it off and it's like, oh, it's too late now.
Yeah.
But what do you mean it's too late?
It's not too late.
Yeah.
Like, 60's not late. Like, do it now.
Especially as well, people are living a lot older.
Yeah. We are living, we're a lot, I always say that we can't help getting older, but we can choose how we age.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're like, I'm going on another tangent here. Do you feel like your journey has inspired some of your family to start moving, or do you feel like they're just a bit like, that's a Donna
No,
thing?
like, well, I'm an only child, so I don't have like all
Siblings.
my family are overseas. I have like a cousin who has been, you know, inspired by me competing, and he goes to the gym, but all of my mum's family are overseas. So I don't have, I'm an only child. Can you tell? Yeah. So I think more than anything, it's probably just inspired more the community that I'm involved in. And I have had athletes who come to me who are, I think I've had a 17 or 18-year-old, and all the way to someone who is, I think I want to say 60.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's a huge age bracket, which is quite rare, because I feel like especially in this industry, in the health and fitness industry, you have an age bracket a lot smaller than that.
Yeah, no.
Like I'm definitely like, I want to say 20,
mid-20s,
to early 30s.
Yeah.
That's a big age bracket.
Yeah. I've had people. That's crazy. And I'm inspired by someone who is just as young, because I think 17 or 18 wanting to compete and wanting to take on this discipline and these hard tasks and these challenges at such an early age. Like when I was 18, I was bloody out in a gutter somewhere drinking a UDL can. I don't know, right? Yeah.
I love that.
So, but yeah, when I see someone that's young, or someone older, they're both equally inspiring to me. Yeah.
I can definitely relate to that. So, final question.
Okay.
For someone who's nervous, you've done very, very well.
Have I? Oh, God.
So this one's another loaded question though.
Tell me.
So we could probably ramble about this one for a while.
Yeah.
So I know we've kind of touched on it, but what is the main legacy that you want to leave behind in the world of fitness, competing, and then overall health as well?
I hope that when people watch me and see what I do, that they are empowered to believe in themselves. And like we've talked about today, that you cannot let your circumstance or your age dictate or, not allow you to achieve these goals. I also, want people to show up and live a life more authentically. Do not be afraid to be yourself. That's why, Deadpan Don. I want people to be unapologetically themselves. You do not live your life scared about what you put out there. As long as you're not hurting anyone or hurting yourself, like, please show up and be you, because you're the person that you see in the mirror every day. And I do not want you to live a life appeasing other people. Just do what resonates with you in your heart. I want, I've been in this position where I'm in an amazing position where I watch people grow from having no confidence and to be able to help discover a confidence that they've never had before. And if I can leave the fitness community better than how I was when I started, then I'd say then that's all I can ask for, basically. Yeah, just to say that I've been able to help empower people show up being themselves. I
feel like that's a really nice, that would be an amazing legacy. And I definitely think that you are doing that. And I think you are someone who is bettering the fitness industry, the competing industry, and just like the overall community very positively. And I'm very honored to be taught by you, to be in your world, and to definitely have you as a guest on this podcast. So thank you so much. I feel like that's the perfect, most wholesome, sweet, beautiful way to end a podcast. So thank you so much. And make sure you rate this podcast 5 stars, because this is an amazing podcast. I think so many people will take something from, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.